refilled it.
It's 50 cents now. Well, quarter. You can have, I don't know.
Whichever one.
Y'all want some candy?
Anybody?
I'll take a picture.
Where's Pete?
Thanks. So funny, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all the same time. You want the other kind, they're in the office.
All right, all right.
Those are Melissa's.
Melissa's.
She likes to go around. Please, I'll set that back down.
Yeah. I was down.
One minute.
But would it make it, but
We're gonna talk.
he needs separate whenever we have time. Cause you got to get your lights too, see? That's for your street lights too. You have to take the covers off. Well, I know.
You know, I don't think it'll hurt. I won't be able to park. That's the kids get married. Thank you. That's his name. But the venue was this way. It was on the eastern side of Cincinnati, probably 45 minutes from here. They found an old place online where they renovated it. I mean, that's embarrassing. I think I put a roll up after. But yeah. That venue.
All right. Are you ready?
You ready?
I'm trying to adjust this Facebook comment thing.
Okay.
Made copies of David's basket. You already gave her.
I'd like to call the Maysville Board of Commissioners, special meeting Wednesday, April the 26th, 23 to order. We'll begin with an invocation.
You got it.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the many blessings that you have given us. We ask thee to lead us and guide us as we go throughout each day, and especially today as we're making decisions for the citizens of our city. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Hey, can you pass one to Andrew, please? Thank you. Thank you, dear.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Here.
Commissioner McKay,
Here.
Mayor Cotterill,
Yes, ma'am.
City Manager Wallingford,
Here.
Controller Stanfield,
Here.
Project Coordinator Horde,
Here.
Public Works Director Truesdell.
Thank you. Budget session. City manager.
Who wants to go first?
It doesn't matter.
Well, why don't you start then,
All right,
David?
then.
You want to start? And
Yep.
the goal here is to go into a little bit more depth
Okay,
than what we did when we gave the initial introduction to the
Okay.
commission.
all right. Let's start out with the flood wall mower. It's, guys, it's something, and ladies, it's something that we really need. It's time for us to improve our mower. Our mower was last bought in 2014. That is a flood wall mower. There's no other options as far as any other kind of mowers that mow. It's $70,000 for the one without the cab, and I am very much fine with that. It doesn't have to have the cab. The cab is a safety issue. It stops more of the, it holds more of the stability on it, which, you know, that's an improvement that they've made through the years. But we are fine with, you know, the flood wall mower as far as the handling it right now with as much rock levee as David's done on the projects of putting the rock levee on Goose Creek and different places like that, taking out some of the steeper slopes. So we're fine with that issue right there.
Dennis, let me ask you a question. In years past, and those of you who've been on here recall, we had discussion about a tractor and a bush hog, like a real you know,
Batwing
a
bush hog.
batwing bush hog, is that something that
We
could,
looked at that issue.
oh, I'm sorry.
Have you got it?
This
Can you
is
make
what
me
they
a copy
gave
of
us
this?
last
I
time,
didn't
and she didn't have a copy.
I just gave that to you.
No,
Oh.
this is engineering.
Yes. Go ahead and explain what I was, and I'll make a copy.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
The thing with the tractor and the bush hog,
Okay.
the thing with the tractor and the bush hog, and Matt's, he's talking about there is it's gonna have to be a dual wheel tractor, 4-wheel drive tractor. So we're already at the $70,000-$80,000 mark for probably one of them, David, maybe a little more. And then if we do the bush hog mower, you can't use a finish mower on the flood wall because it mows too low to the ground. The finish mower doesn't have the, as far as the belts and stuff. But we'd have to go with a batwing bush hog mower. To elaborate a little bit on that, it wouldn't be a tractor bush hog that we could use to bush hog the farm with and maybe cut down trees. It would have to be a different style bush hog that would spread out so that the bush hog wouldn't tilt none neither. And also too, it's gonna have to be sort of a finish mower in between a finish mower and a bush hog. So we would really have to do some work on that. Then you gotta follow the flood wall. You gotta go the same way. You can't go up to the top because once you hit the top, then you bottom out, we're cutting the top of the flood wall off. It won't go over and back the flood wall because of the bush hog dragging into the ground. So we still gotta travel the bush hog. I think our cheapest route's still gonna be our cut quick mowers. Safe sand from the farming end of it.
Have you ever thought about a flail mower?
Flail mower wouldn't do near as much because I can't get it to stay on the flood wall. It slides too much. It doesn't have it has the width as far as the deck, but it doesn't have the width for the back end of it to stop us from sliding. We still have right smart steep slopes on that flood wall,
Okay.
and it's still pretty dangerous. The cut quick does slide off on it. If you don't get on the flood wall when it's dry, you won't go on the flood wall. You're gonna get hurt. So we have to take our precautions there.
I think that's critically important. We have to think about the safety first.
That's one of the reasons my guys has got me quotes. I left this up to our guys that mow the flood wall to find their information on it, and they've come up with $70,000 for the simple mower. That's the same that we have, 6-foot deck. Or they've come up with the one for 130, which is, the one that has the cab that is more stable. And it has the cab, it's wider in the back end, and it's 84 inch, it's bigger horsepower, so that it don't bog out as much. The other one is, it's a 96 inch cut. It's a 96 inch cut, the new one, the cab mower is, and it is a bigger mower, it has a bigger motor on it. It doesn't have the bog out on it, to where to bog down or anything. If it gets into tall grass to cause it to kill the mower, then it freewheels off there, so that's the other thing. But as long as we keep the flood wall cut, I'm fine with the second. But I just think the tractor bush hog mower and the things, I think it's a little bit, it's something that we would have to try trial and error first. I would want to personally. Before I would, purchase one, I would want to try one personally to see if it's going to be able to do it, and I don't foresee it doing it.
The,
If you don't foresee it, then
Yeah,
that makes you time and money.
the only advantage to the tractor though, would be the longevity of it. The tractor would last for 20 years,
Yeah.
30 years. The mower, you'd have to replace it, probably, 10, but it wouldn't be as often. That's the difference I see in it, that Matt, I think, Matt brought, we talked about it before. Now, as far as cutting ruts and having turf tires as opposed to tractor tires, we'd have to, I don't think you've ever done that. I don't think we've ever tried a dual wheel tractor trying to do to try it on a flood wall, but that's the only advantage I see to it, is the longevity of the equipment.
Didn't it the last number? Yes. And I'd agree with that.
That's,
so
Yeah.
really, what do you want, Dennis? You wanna try that first? You want,
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you know yourself Would you like to bring me in a tractor and let me try it? Your own tractor that you're gonna sell me for X amount of dollars.
You talking about a business bringing it?
Yes. Who has the business that would wanna bring one in? I don't think we could get nobody to let us bring one in. I think we'd be, you know,
I think the state does, you know, whenever they.
You can try mine if you want, Dennis.
well, you could try mine, but I'm not gonna say that it would work. But are you gonna be responsible for my $55,000 tractor? You know,
Let me ask you this, have you talked to any, other towns who have flood wall systems similar to ours? I'm more concerned in their recommendations or what they've tried and
most of the
failed.
flood walls between what we use from here, you know, that we've been to, Huntington, all of them has cut quick mowers. We had a Hustler, we still have the Hustler, but I can't use it on the flood wall. It's a straight axle mower. They quit making them, but I still have that Hustler, but I use it for like around the lake at Mitsubishi and, you know, different places, the Boys Club. We use it on them because it doesn't have the power anymore as far as the hydraulic issue to be able to travel the flood wall and pull, you know, the thing that we needed. Cut quick is basically about the only thing that makes a flood wall mower that is, we've had people to bring them in here. Lasted about 5 minutes on the flood wall and slid off and went home.
Have you tried Skag?
Skag mower will not handle the flood wall.
Won't do it.
Nope, my
Dennis,
grasshoppers won't handle it.
what will do the job?
Yeah.
The cut quick.
Well, then-
That's the reason I've got the cut quick on here. I've looked at different mowers, we've looked at them, I can't get anything to, in my time I've been here at the city of Maysville to 31 years, I can't get anything to take the place of the cut quicks. Okay,
Any other
that's-
questions on
I
them?
mean, I'm not being rude about it, I'm being upfront. I'm telling you like it is.
Okay.
We want a good mower, let's get a cut quick.
And what about the one you said would cut off part of the flood wall? What were you talking
That
about?
was the tractor when you go up over it. The bush hog behind it will drag into the ground just as it makes the break. So we gotta travel, we gotta travel the length of the flood wall.
And how long do you think, how many times did you have to go over to get that down to river level? So I can't see the river. I'm just asking. Anyway,
Is there any local contractors that have a mower that would be suitable that,
Nobody will bid on the flood wall.
okay.
We've looked at that.
We've
in the
looked at
past.
that before in the past. I did have a gentleman to come down and said that, he would take a look at it, swore up and down he could mow it. And when he came down and looked at the flood wall and he brought his mowers down, he couldn't get neither one of his mowers to climb it, couldn't do nothing. And Chad Asbury come and looked at it. Both of them said, we don't want nothing to do with it.
Did that workman boy want to bid that?
No, it was Mark Ginn and Chad Asbury was the two that came down and
Okay.
looked at it.
But I mean the guy that used to mow it. Charlie Workman's son, he worked for us.
No,
Okay.
I don't know if he's mowed it. I mean, Jamie Black mowed it before and then I took it over and
Okay.
it's just been passed down as our city employees through the years.
He asked me if we were going to bid it. I didn't think so.
No. As far as the flood wall being kept in the shape that it needs to be kept in, it's best if we keep it. Then we'll know it's
Okay.
kept in the shape that it needs to be kept in. So that we can meet, in case there is money out there that's allocated through a grant or something, then we can meet it. We don't have to worry about our contractors saying, well, we gotta up this and we're gonna cost the price. Let's keep the flood wall ourselves. It's our responsibility, let's take care of it.
Truck?
Second item, I mentioned this before, it's a new 3/4 ton pickup truck. Guys, like I said, I had to, and ladies, I'm sorry, but we had to take one off the route. The rails were getting too rusty on it. So I pulled it off the route back through the winter. Mild winter, yeah, we're fine, but I can't never tell you that neither. We need a 3/4 ton pickup truck with the salt machine and the plow to be put on it so that we can properly take care of our streets in the city of Maysville in the wintertime.
What would you use it for outside of
Outside
season?
using it for. I wanna
Outside
put-
of winter season.
Outside using it on the flood wall, or not on the flood wall, outside using it in the winter time, I wanna make it into a flyer truck. I wanna turn it into a water truck to where I know it's taken care of. It's 3/4 ton, it'll handle a 300-gallon tank. It'll be able to handle it, to water the flowers, and then I know that it's coming off of the route to be ready to be set up for winter. So that's where two of my trucks are gonna be going to. The other one, I put back on the construction crew site. It goes on the construction crew because the guys can use it to pull their equipment around with. So, this other one, the rails are too bad on it. It's the A-frame's out of it and everything. So eventually it's gonna have to go to the sale lot.
How old is it?
You asked me that question and I had to pull the list.
Hold on, I've got it. Hold on.
359 is the truck number, man.
Oh,
No,
do I not
it's
have
Jeff's
yours in
line
here?
truck.
Shoot. Police, I don't have yours in here. Sorry. I don't have yours in
And
here.
it's truck number 359. I'd have to pull it.
I have to put yours in
I
here.
have it.
Yeah.
I have everything, but I don't have yours.
Okay, I have it, so I can get back with you on that one. And I'm
It's
sorry,
just
I didn't.
old, right?
Yes, it's getting
Which
old.
is old.
Yes, it's an older model truck. Dump truck bed. That's the bed for our dump truck, which we have. Let's scratch it. I'm gonna let you all keep that. I'm gonna take that one out. I'm gonna go ahead and scratch that one because I can work with it. If the utility commission gets them a new bed, then I'll take theirs and patch it. But they can't haul sludge in their bed, so, you know, I'm trying to play both
Yeah.
ways. If the utility commission gets one, they can't haul sludge because their bed's too bad. But it doesn't say that I can't use that bed and make it work for me for dirt and gravel. We'll patch it
So
up and
you're
make it
saying
work.
take this off?
Yeah, let's take that one
So
off.
scratch
I'm
the
gonna
dump truck
scratch
bed?
that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna save us 12,000. I've looked at this and looked at this. Refabricating the Packer. That's Packer number 322. I'm gonna scratch that one because I don't think I need to work on 322. It's getting too old. I've talked with my mechanics. My Packer's getting too old to be worked on to refabricate it and then something else go wrong with it. Let's look at maybe next year. Maybe looking at a decent used Packer since we're not in the garbage business. Matt, are you fine with
Yeah,
that?
do you still have two that
I
you?
still have one left. The
You
other
got-
one's
you still have one
306. The other one is 306, which is basically next to my newest one. I have 322 is my oldest one. 306 is the next one that we bought, and then 307 is our newest
So
one.
you have two
I
others.
have-
Is there a need for a third?
No, I need two.
Okay.
306 is the one that I was going to turn make into a roll-off truck
Okay.
last year, but they're not seeing that it can be made into that neither
No. My point
because
is,
of the rails and the body's too bad on it.
if you're taking 322 offline, you
I'm not
still.
gonna take it offline.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
use it.
Okay.
I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
But eventually,
Bless you.
we're gonna have to bring this back to the table later on, maybe next year or the year after. We're gonna have to bring it to the table to get us.
Do you have two or do you have three?
I have 3 Packers, but I only have 2 that I can use.
Okay.
306 is, you can't really use it because the body's so rusted on it,
Okay.
and the rails are so bad.
So you
on
got
it.
2 that you can work with.
If something would happen, I could use it to get us out of a pinch, but I don't wanna put it on a route twice a week.
Okay.
You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I do.
It's just a spare. So let's mark that one out, and I'll save us another 55 there. Playground equipment, we need to go with that.
I already had that in the operating budget.
Okay,
Penny, while we're on that subject, if we got that added, what about, I'd like to see, and I think, you all heard the presentation at the last meeting about the skate park, allocating some money. And it doesn't all have to be done this year. David, when you and I went down there, between lights, asphalt work, those two there, you're looking at what, probably 25,000
Probably about 20.
to do that. But then they're also asking for some equipment.
Something like that.
There, I don't think we would, because we got a we already got a meter base there, and a transformer, and we probably run 250 foot of underground cable. The lights are $1,500 a piece, and the heads are about you're gonna have about $10,000. I think it'd just be better lights for that area.
The skate park there.
Yeah.
What about the other part? The newer part?
That's something we could do solar on the slope. And we can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
If
So you
that's
think
something-
about 20 there at the skate park,
Yeah.
just on that.
Yeah,
But I think we're also obligated to, you know, that equipment is 20 years old. For the most part, they can still use the old obstacles that are down there, but they would like to add a few new ones. And what I'm asking you is if you all will allocate a certain dollar amount, I'll work with the folks who use the park, say, hey, you all pick out, here's how much money we have. You all pick out what you want. Does that make sense?
What about Fourth Street? I've been asking.
Now, he's talking about.
I'm talking about, right
Yeah.
now, I'm just talking about the skate park.
He's talking
right
about
now.
his
I know what
skateboard.
you're
I'm
Yeah.
on, mine is a total different page here. I
Yeah.
am for
Okay.
playground equipment. I'm for the children playground here.
Okay.
He's working on
Yeah.
something totally different. These two gentlemen are.
And what Penny
Let's-
has said, she's already allocated 25,000 for general playground equipment.
Yeah.
But I'm going beyond that and asking a certain dollar amount for the skate park.
So
And
what do you think?
$25,000
I think
is a drop in the bucket for what I'm gonna need. For my 5 playgrounds, cause Beechwood Park is gonna be one of them that I'm gonna have to address for too long. Union Street is a hard played playground. It's gonna have to be addressed. And then, and I'm sorry, Ann, but I would like to go in them at, repair Beechwood. Let's look at Union Street, then let's go to 4th Street. And then I'll work with this playground right back here. It'll be older in the 3 to 5 years that I'll be coming to, but addressing the playgrounds, I would like to address the
And the-
most used first.
And in most,
I
and in the need.
understand,
Yeah, and the need for it.
but with the complaints that I've had on Fourth Street, that it's just for little children, not for kids that's 10 to 12 to 14. So, and that's been up there for years. How long's that been up?
That one there was there before, it was there after Beechwoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It and Union Street was put in, I think, about 2 years apart. Union Street and, the.
I've got pictures from the early to mid 90s when it was
Yeah.
put in.
Let me ask a question. So Penny, if you've already put it in his budget, does that mean that it doesn't need to be here as a capital improvement?
Yeah, it'll still be a capital improvement, but went ahead and added that in on the 20, I put the
Okay.
25,000 in, but then if we need additional
Right.
for the skate park, I'll need to add that.
And I would,
Well, and I wanna
Yeah,
say
sure.
that some of that equipment, like at Union Street and Beechwood, is actually kind of dangerous.
Yes, it
Do you
is.
not agree with me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And
that's the
so
reason I'm looking at it.
Maybe we need to allocate a little bit more money,
I agree.
because kids' safety is something that we just can't, risk, I don't think.
You're really not gonna do much with 25.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're not gonna do a
No,
whole
no,
lot.
and- and seriously, me and Penny's looked at the book, me and Penny and David's looked at the book. To fix each playground, we're probably talking about $75,000 to $100,000 to fix each one of them. But I'm trying to figure out a starting point. So, if you all are fine, I'd like to have 50.
I was gonna say, what if you up that to 50
If
for
you
this
up that
year?
to 50 for me,
For the
because
gen-
playground equipment's gotta go.
Yeah, for the general playground, and then I would recommend another 20 to 25 for the skate park. And that may go, and I don't know enough about it. That may go a longer way than we think.
Well, there are parks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well-
Hey, you guys do
I'm
not
on the same
realize
page.
how many compliments we get from what you all let us put in at the Forest Avenue Park.
Yeah.
That part there, you all are praised so much for that.
Well, and that's good.
Yes,
I mean, I agree with that for the skate park, but I think we should maybe allocate more to get, if
Yeah.
Union's dangerous, Fourth Street's outdated, because there's no little kids there anymore, older kids. I like to look at all of them.
What if we did 100,000, and that would give 25 for the skate park and 25 for each of the other 3 that needed the most?
I'm tickled to death of it. Yes, please, do that for us. Yes,
See
please.
where it gets.
Does that include the lights at the new park?
What, no, that would be, if you're gonna go with, lights at the new park and then the lighting, Vic, and the asphalt work at the skate park, I'd say you're looking at another 30, just for that.
yeah.
Does that sound
Yeah.
fair,
We did
David?
such a good job on that park, but it's poorly,
Yeah, it is.
poorly lit. It's-
And I've talked to Chief Palmer, he'd be tickled to have
Yeah.
some
The
lights
poles
down
are
there.
We
Yeah.
just put solar lights up.
Well, we could either do that, or we could put street lights on the backside.
Right.
And shine them toward the park, but then you might get some complaints down there on Elizabeth Street.
Okay, what if we do it this way? What if we put some street lights on the backside of it, we set them up on the bank to shine down, but then we put the plug-ins and we go ahead and add the plug-ins there, so that if we can convince Mike Lundy to add some Christmas up on that end of town too. He's willing to help us out with that.
And oh yeah,
Causing the cost of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mike would-
it's covering two things.
Mike would be
I
into
might
that.
be able to get the street lights, those part, just of our street lighting.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask Penny, how would you wanna allocate?
It needs to go to the parks as well.
Okay, okay.
Maintenance repair
Okay.
on the parks.
Okay.
So,
David, would you think 30 is a fair number to,
Yeah.
okay?
For
Yeah.
the skate park.
Yeah. I think we're just trying to think of the lighting for both of those
Electrical.
parks and then some asphalt and
Yeah.
concrete work at
And
the
that
skate
will
park.
include
I'll
lighting.
talk to you
Yeah.
about that. We might be able to do it at the street lights.
That's the thing, I mean, I think,
Another.
I get the sense from the five of us that we're committed to making this. playground
Perhaps I think
work.
you are too,
We don't know
absolutely. We all
exactly-
are.
We don't know, right, we don't know exactly what the dollar amount is, you know. We might be jumping the gun a little bit to say 25 or 50, you know, Dennis might come out and say.
How about 130? Is that a reasonable number? 130, 100,000, roughly 75 for the main parks, 25 for the skate park, and then 30 for lighting at Forest Avenue and the skate park and some asphalt concrete work.
And those
if I
other
don't
three
need
parks.
that much, we can use it
Yeah,
on the
right.
playground.
Right.
That sounds.
Right.
that sounds
So
correct.
you're looking at
That
Beechwood
January park, I mean, the Forest
Union?
Avenue park, it's getting used.
Yeah, oh, I know.
and Fourth Street, correct?
Yes,
And those three would be 75,000, is that what you said?
Yeah, and that's not gonna, that's not gonna complete what we need, but it's a start.
Well, we can do what we need.
Complete what we need, probably what, 120,000 at each park?
oh yeah.
At
Oh,
least,
yeah.
Probably 100.
at each
This-
park, yeah.
this-
It'll get us started.
this'll
We can
get us started to where, we'll know next year, maybe that big piece of equipment we won't need. We're gonna try to go in with a smaller one and come in with a smaller number, and that's something we can look at then.
Are you just talking that unions and the equipment's in bad shape or something there that they shouldn't be playing with?
Well,
Union Street Playground's in terrible shape.
Yeah,
You're
Union
just saying,
Street's
it's
bad
not
shape.
it's
January
not the
park.
design of the equipment, it's just, it's
It's-
going out.
It's deteriorating. The plastic on it is starting to crack, so we're starting to see some,
It's a
where
safety
my guys-
issue.
Yeah, it's a safety issue, where they're sliding down the slides. It's
Well, I'm
cracked.
just saying if.
We don't need nobody
not-
catching their fingers,
and
cutting their finger off.
the steps aren't very good.
The steps isn't very good, some of the rubber's starting to come off. It's something that can't be replaced, or we can't go in there and reseal and refix.
Yeah.
And they don't make that piece of
See,
playground
all of
equipment.
it's plastic now, cause that's what Fourth Street is, it's all plastic.
Yeah,
No.
And I
But-
don't know if theirs is like that.
no,
either.
we have to stick with the plastic because they don't make the steel because it's too hot.
Yeah.
And the stainless steel and stuff, so we've gotta stick with the plastic. It's just something that we've gotta replace every so often. It's been 20 years, 25 years since they've been bothered.
Well, I'm good with that, 75,000 for the three parks and 30 for the skate park.
25 for the skate park, Ian, and then
Okay.
another 30 for lighting
Okay.
at Forest Avenue and the skate park, and then also some concrete and asphalt work.
We're looking at
at,
130,000 for
for everything,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, 130,000.
130.
David, on the, River Park, that playground, is that in our federal grant?
No,
No, not playground equipment.
The playground equipment that we have at the River Park is actually about 10 years old,
it's
other
not,
than the swing.
yeah, it's not as
It's
bad.
not as old,
Okay.
but also too, in the camp area back there, some of the playground equipment that we're gonna be taking down, I'm gonna utilize in some other places.
Okay.
I wanna put some playground equipment back in, and I've talked with Penny about it. We wanna put some back where the campers is, so that the people that's camping, their kids can't go to the playground unless mommy and daddy goes with them. This way they've got something to play on back there while they're there camping, and they can go up the playground, and we're just adding something else to help, help us make a better park. Camping ground park. That's what I wanna do there. Next item, this is the biggie. I'd like to have a new sweeper. I know it sounds like a lot of money, And, you know, me and Matt and Luke, we looked at the other sweeper this week. It's actually working okay, but, you know, when is the time to start replacing it, Victor? When is the time to start replacing our sweeper?
Last 10 years ago.
Well, first thing, they did reach out, because you all wanted to know about contracting, and it was $4,100 a week.
$4,100 a week.
So it's a week, so that's about
They
100.
came in,
Yeah.
went through our entire route of what we should do, and then quoted us that $4,100 a week.
So you're looking at
Who is that with?
That is with Sweeping Corporation of America out of Louisville. I'm sorry, Westchester.
Who did we use last time?
Contract sweeper out
Yeah.
of West Union and over in the Peoples area. But he says he didn't want to fool with. He's got too much to do in Cincinnati and Sharonsville and all of them. He doesn't have his sweeper to allocate here and leave it. He has to drive it here and drive it back. And he said that he just couldn't. He
You all
couldn't
want to
see
see
it.
this?
So that's 30 weeks, $120,000 a year. I asked Dennis and Luke last week to bring the sweeper down to the lower parking lot on McDonald Parkway and just look at it closely what it does. It works fine. I know people complain about the dust and all that, but
There's no water.
It's sweet. It's sweet.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it does.
And I apologize for hyping on this for years.
No,
It's
I
a street
understand.
sweeper. It does sweep, but it doesn't clean. It doesn't properly clean. Not for
Well-
what we're charging people not to move the car.
I understand that. What I'm getting at is when we go through all of this and we have a $2.7 million deficit, I would respectfully ask you to keep that in mind as something to cut. Because, and I know a large street sweeper would I get it. I totally understand. But ours does pick up. I know it doesn't get everything. I agree with you, Commissioner, 100%. But when we get to the bottom line, I'm just asking you to keep that in the back of your head.
So you're saying leave it on here
I would.
for now?
Oh yeah, we're not doing it. We're not making any decisions right now. I'm just saying keep that in the back of your head. If we're looking at $2.7 or $3 million deficit.
Is there one you could buy
there one
that's cheaper that's either?
No.
No,
Less expensive.
And I really don't want to get into buying the used sweeper because I'm buying somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And David, doesn't a local blacktop contractor use one just like we do before they?
He's got the same.
It's a Pelican, just like ours.
Both of them has one. HG Mays has two of them, and
Todd.
T&K.
T&K has one. That it works great for sweeping up where they've ground the blacktop down and cleaning off what they need at the curb and gutters because it's a preset broom to sweep it out of the gutter. The new sweepers and stuff.
And aren't you guys looking at possibly adjusting the water amount?
We're working on that this morning. We're gonna see how that works today and tomorrow and things like that. We worked on it this morning, so.
Had you
Yeah.
ever worked on it before?
Yes.
There's a water filter, and that water filter was clogged this morning. They came down and unclogged it, changed both the tips on each side, and it should.
They were working on it when a couple other public works employees and I were picking up recycling debris. But that's for another discussion.
Yeah.
So yes, they were down there working on it this morning. We'll talk about that in a week or so. Sorry. Go ahead, brother.
AC reclaimer, still the same thing. It's an addition to what we have now. We use the 134, or we use the 22R, which is in, the older model vehicles, up to the 2020s, the 2020s, 2021s, and the newer vehicles, they're going to the 134. Our buses, our cruisers, some of our city vehicles, they have the 134. We can't fill them. And if you have one fixed over to Howke's, if you have to have the reclaimer pulled down and put back in, it starts at $1,500 per vehicle.
This will pay for itself, basically.
This one will pay for itself. It is something that we're actually, with our handicap vans, and I'm working to see if maybe we can get some help through transit, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm still going to need the $7,500 to get me an AC reclaimer, plus keep the one that we got for our other vehicles too. That's a mechanical need that we're gonna have to have. Salt box and the salt plow, or salt box and the plow is also included in on the truck up there. That will be the 20,000, so we're looking at about 75,000 for them 3 items. That's, the salt plow and the salt box is to put on the new truck because the old one,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The old plow will not fit the new truck. And the old salt box won't wire to it because it's got the computer in the new truck. So anytime we buy, then we gotta buy the new salt machine to be wired into that one. So that's the reason I'm looking at a new salt machine, and a new plow, cause it has to go on our salt truck up here for a 3/4 ton. That's the 20,000. My item there is the flag poles. Me and Luke's talked about that. We would like to be able to, and I'll work with Penny on that one. And if I can put one a year up, I would be tickled to death that we could get, our 2 or 3 flag poles at the Public Works garage. And I think I can work with Penny with that one. And maybe we can get one this year and then go ahead and put another one in next year. I really love to be able to support our Public Works Department, as far as whatever we can support in our state, our city, and our American flag.
We probably have funds left in
That's,
supplies this year to go
so,
ahead and do that.
I would really love to do that,
I'm
but
just gonna ask you that, if he had
Yeah.
enough funds to do that before the end of the.
As of right now, we do.
Okay.
then I'll take that one out. I'm gonna save us some money there, or save us some budget items. Blacktopping our parking lot, it hasn't been done since 2007 when we was there, and it's just had the base on it. That's a $20,000 item. We are starting to see the deterioration and the cobwebbing since we set the recycling trailers out there. I'm starting to see that big packer roll in there. Matt, you know
Yeah, I
exactly what I'm talking about because you see it right down there in this parking lot. That heavy packer's starting to go across there. Our parking lot is designed for commercial vehicles, just little ones.
Let me ask you, just like what we did down here under the bridge, instead of repaving up there where those boxes are, what
I'm not
if we?
repaving that. That
What-
doesn't have nothing to do with
I
that's my
understand
parking
that,
lot.
but my point is, when you get to that point, just gravel it, like we've done back down here. Put down the heavier gravel.
I tell you what, and I'll go ahead and bring this out. What I'm looking at is if the training tower comes down, the old one, and I would like to move the recycling trailers to the concrete pad and utilize that end of it.
We'll keep that in the back of your head, you all as well. We're gonna discuss this at our May 11th meeting.
And then that moves it from across my parking lot. Our parking lot is cobwebbed, it's busted up, it's starting to, we've even had to dig it up and everything, so, I know $20,000 sounds like a whole lot, but I got with David on that issue, and that's about the cheapest we can get that done at. And a new grasshopper mower, it's time for my guys to get a new mower for our parks and our recreation end of it, what we mow along right-of-ways. We mow a right smart of grass, probably about 70 acres, just for Public Works Department. So, I don't think that $20,000 for a new grasshopper mower is out of the way when we've used them in the past.
Yeah, no, you're looking at that's a top of the line
That's the top of the
commercial.
line. Yes.
And that's what you need. You need a top of the line commercial zero
Is it
turn
diesel?
mower.
That will be, yes, I think that is
Yeah,
the
it
diesel.
probably is.
Hydraulic, that was the diesel, wasn't it?
Kubota diesel.
Yeah.
That's the price you're looking.
No, it's a.
That's
grasshopper.
reasonable.
It's got a Kubota.
Yeah, it's got a Kubota diesel engine. I'm sorry, Luke's right. It's a grasshopper mower with a Kubota engine on it. Yes, and that's from Crumps in Flemingsburg. And as of now, that's state contract price.
Oh, okay.
So that helps us out there.
Yeah.
So, folks, that's all I have. I appreciate your time. Look forward to my new sweeper.
I guess my question would be, what I would like to do is, I'm trying to put the final numbers together so we can kind of see where we are at. Do you want me to put all these items in, the budget, and then we can
See
decide
what
if we want to
comes
take
out
something
then?
out?
I think that's what we do,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
because we were not making any decisions on, well, yeah, let's throw
Right,
everything
but I
in
mean, I'll
there,
throw it all in.
see what the final number is,
Okay.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Dave?
Thank you, Dennis.
Well, the first one on there is the Clark's Run Road Bridge. And that bridge is the one right after, when you are going out Clark's Run where it says end of state maintenance. It's going down that hill. And you may not even know that it was a bridge. But it's got two little rails on the side. It's probably, I think it's 30 feet long and as wide as the road. But there's been some deterioration over the years. It's very old. But this is replacing the whole deck and the sides. The foundation, I've already replaced one wall. We did that 3 or 4 years ago. So I don't think I'll have to do that, but, this, and I've looked at pricing too for metal bridges there, but it's a little bit cheaper, but I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet if that's what.
You talking about kind of like what we've got on Hill City?
I mean, they make noise when you go across them. I mean, they make a roaring noise, you know, with vehicles, but, so I haven't made my mind up exactly, but that may be able to save us a little money if we do a metal deck, but that's something that's not on our bridge inspection list because this bridge wasn't big enough. See, we've got 3 that we do. This wasn't one of them because I can get money through the state for the ones that are in that, but I can't on this one. You know.
We can make this big 3 times as long and maybe it'd be covered in.
Yeah, and you know, and I never tried it through that municipal,
Municipal, the discretionary fund?
But that may be something,
know.
you know, if
Yeah,
it
yeah.
has to be cut, that may be something we could try for next year.
Discretionary money.
So,
Okay.
I'll throw that out there. Hinton Drive, drainage, that's, all the way, as you go ahead Hinton Drive, all the way at the end. There's a huge, it's been a drainage problem for years. We're getting ready to redo a new pump station, sewage pump station in that area. And when we do that, I'd like to do this project too, to get rid of that problem that we have at the bottom of the hill. It's washing out a building, a barn, and there's some problems down there with the property. It's causing some problems.
But that's not our road, is it?
At the bottom of the hill, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave, you talking about go in and make a left?
We're going in, you make a left, it goes to the bottom, and all the drainage from that subdivision, from Jersey Ridge, all the way down, goes to that one point down there.
We have a sewer lift station down there, which are.
Yeah, it goes to the creek,
Goes
behind
to
the
the
golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is ours. We plow
We plow all the way
down
down to the pump station.
to the pump station, but in the wintertime, we stop at the edge of blacktop so that we don't get down in there and get hung up, so.
So that's a project that we need to really think about doing. We do that with our own crew. I mean, that's something we could do. West Third Street roadway repair, I usually put a little money in there every year for this because we have roadway slippage, we have retaining wall problems, things like that, so that's just above and beyond what we do, so we have trouble with that road.
Every year, yeah.
Hey, what about Clay Hedgecock's or Larry Crow's building there where that wall's collapsing on the street?
That's something that's, I mean, we can look at working on.
Okay.
I mean, some of that falls in the street, we pick it up. I mean, and one of that,
Yeah, because there's a big chunk of it.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
it's a problem. There's some of those steps that we can take off,
Yeah,
but I don't like to touch that stuff until we're ready to work on something.
So what would you do, a retaining wall?
Probably do it just like we did up above there, where that one was falling in the road. I mean, and it would be concrete. It wouldn't be put back with stone now,
Right.
because there's concrete there. Now, some of those that are on up there, we could do just like we did in another section up there. But it's about to do the stone, it takes about $10,000 for 100 feet for a dry laid stone wall. To take it out and put it back. So, but for concrete, I can do it a lot cheaper and do more of it. So that's where that's at. One stop building, I I indicated it's an antique, it's 20 years old, a fire panel, and we can't get parts for it no more. And we have a lot of alarms that we probably shouldn't get. So this is to replace that, replace all the indicators that are in the ductwork, stuff like that, that we have problems with. So that's something that we need to do. We need to do that this year. Cox Building HVAC work, we continually have some problems down there. I've taken care of a lot of them over the years, but this will, I think if we can do this, I can pretty well eliminate the problems that we've been having on the first floor with College Cafe and different things that we had down. Regulating the heat, regulating the air. That's where we've had problems down there. So, building's 11 years old. 12, going to be 11, 12 years old since we redone it. So, it's about time for some of those, they're called mini split units, and they don't last as long, especially in a large building like that. So, need to look at that. Me and Penny talked about this Limestone Creek pump station. It's probably not gonna happen this year, but I wanna reduce it down so at least I could bid it. If I could bid it and buy some of the materials, is what maybe we'll end up doing, but I'll just cut that in half. We did get the pump's delivered. I mean, it's out of Public Works too, garage, if anybody wants to go out there and look at it. It's taking up a whole one bay of it. So, once we get our electrical finished and done, and I get the roof hatch cut, we're gonna go ahead and put that pump in. So at least it's in, and then I'll do the bid to put the pipe to the river. So that's what this is for. The rest of it's been paid for. Pump,
So the
electric.
750 is to take it with the pipe
Yes,
from the station to the river.
to the river. And I'm just gonna say, it probably won't be done this year.
This coming fiscal
This
year.
coming fiscal
Right.
year. But there's a possibility I could get it bid and buy some of the materials. And I would go ahead and do that, and I'd rather keep the 375.
That's what I allocated was 370.
Okay.
So we can mark this off and put 370.
375.
Yeah, that's what I used.
Handicap sidewalk repairs, you want me to? I mean, we generally spend about that much every year to do downtown, East End. There's several places, you know, we put in handicap corners, because when we take something out now, we have to put it back. You can't leave it like it was. It has to be handicap accessible with the indicators and things like that.
You already have a list on those?
We usually try to do, I don't have a list, no, but if you got something, we'd be more than,
Okay.
we usually do them as we, as they're brought to our attention, or we go out and see them, you know, something that's torn up.
One of them that I will be working on though, hopefully, you know, within the next month or so, I am gonna try to work on Poplar Street. Or on Pelham Street, I'm sorry, Pelham Street. I'm gonna try to work on Pelham Street as handicap accessible because we're getting a lot of complaints up there from the citizens.
Is that the one where you've got some
The
manhole?
corner
and
drains, yeah, the
you gotta-
manhole
yeah.
right at the top.
Yeah,
I've gotta try to start
Yeah.
working on some of them, so that's one of them that's our number one on our list, that as soon as we can get a chance and get start some of our other projects called up.
One-stop building flooring, that's kind of above and beyond them, but that's first and second floor, has all the old VCT tiles, and that's something, you know, their crew could do. You know, we'll probably go back with a different kind of flooring, but that's something, it hadn't been updated in, well, they're just 20 years old. Some of and there's pieces of them broke and chipped. Victor was in there, he's been in there, that building. But I mean, that's just that's just part of it. Some of them have we've redone a lot of the third, we've redone some of the hallways, but a lot of the offices and stuff are pretty bad. Public Works too, this is, we did the garage doors on this building on the front. I think changed the whole look of it, made it look better. And now, this is for the back part of it, the back doors. One reason's a safety problem with the glass These are all glass doors. Let a lot of light in. I mean, make the building where you don't have to really light it, but they're pretty dangerous when we're going in and out, you know. If we just touch it with a piece of equipment or something, you know,
Certainly if you raise them, they're liable to
I
bust
mean,
out.
even if you raise them quick, cold weather, it's something that we need, you know, needs to be done. I'm not saying that's a necessity if something comes down to it, but it's, you know, we need to look at that. Asphalt patching and repair, that's above and beyond my $195,000
Yeah.
that we have we get that much to do our roads, okay? Now, if I don't need that much, this is one here that I just we put it in there, but generally we do use it. But, you know, it depends on if we get money, you know, for our secondary stuff, rural secondary roads. We've got a whole subdivision planned out this year to put in that, but hopefully we can get money for it, Washington
The
Glen.
discretionary money we put in
Yeah.
for, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Washington Glen culvert replacement, it's completely rusted out. It's down on Glen Circle Drive. It's 110 feet long. It's a pretty good sized culvert pipe. Goes between, you know, there's two sets of roads out there. So, and it's in bad shape, and we've got places that are washing out in between the road and on the road, and we've put some stone in there, riprap, so that to hold it for the time being, but that's something that really, it needs to be done this coming year. The Clark Street storage and shelter, we talked a little bit about that last one, but that would be storage of mowers, you know, if we need to do stuff for downtown. And we talked, if the street sweeper, depending on what kind of street sweeper you got, it would be depend on this building, you know, of what we would do, so.
And just to refresh your memory, this is the lot that we obtained from KU that is on the right-hand side, right before you get to All About Glass.
And I think when we acquired that property, they had indicated they wanted
A
to be a
public
public
purpose.
shelter.
Yeah, shelter or something
for
like that,
public
right.
use.
Now, this would be, and we would do a shelter, would be kind of like what we've got, you know, these ones we've been putting up, or we could, you know, we could build something, but if you want a roof, you know, on it, a covered roof. Wouldn't be bathrooms, I don't want to do any more bathrooms, you know, I don't think we need any more with that at Forest Avenue.
Don't need
Wait,
place right there.
just one more, and that's at the Forest Ave, you only put one.
It's a unisex.
We don't do that anymore.
But anyway, well, you can put one in that storage area. But yeah, I mean, I don't,
What would it cost roughly to build a shelter like, say, what's out at the rec park? One of the not the Browning shelter, but
no, just to cover.
just to
one
cover,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, 25,000.
If we
did
built it, okay.
Yeah.
The post one with the concrete slab.
But what you're referring to though is the canopy,
Yeah.
the one with the
And they're
canopy.
about the same.
Okay.
15.
And I wouldn't be opposed to, like he said, putting a restroom up on that end of town.
Well,
No, I wasn't saying putting a bathroom.
He was talking about at Forest Avenue.
He wants another bathroom at Forest Avenue
Oh.
instead of the one big one.
One big one.
And then, the next two are the ones I just added. And the telephone system, that came about, well, it's been going on for the past couple of years. We've had some problems with the internet-based phone system. When the internet goes down, we lose our phone system. The worst case is at the police department, fire department. They switch over then to their Verizon
To their cell phone.
cell phones,
Their backup cell phones.
and basically that's what they end up using. What this would do, it'd be a totally digital phone system instead of the voice over phone
Okay,
system that we had, where something would our telephone, all the telephone lines would have to go out, you know, not just the internet, okay, for them to shut down. We looked at possibly just doing it at the police department and fire department, but but then we couldn't transfer calls back and forth. We'd have to go back to a cell phone or whatever, you know, another cell phone provider. So we did it, I thought it was a long time ago, but Penny brought it to my attention. I think it was 7 years ago that we redid this one, 6 or 7 years ago.
Sounds right.
So what's that do to our fuel system? Is it an
No.
improvement?
It has nothing to do with
It
you.
wouldn't have nothing to do with you,
No.
because you're a industry, you're out there in the different, yeah.
So is this gonna make the monthly telephone bill go up?
No,
Won't change.
no, it won't.
This is equipment and
Yeah,
software.
it was
It's just
equipment
equipment.
only, is what this is, but, you know, that's something, I mean, it's something to think about. I think Palmer will probably talk to you about it too, a little bit, you know, and he can tell you the whole situation, because he's quick to call whenever something like that, and I understand completely. But we have had a lot of Easter, Good Fridays, when it really was
The
bad.
last couple of months, it seems.
I mean, and we've had a lot of problems, you know,
Poured out.
glitches and
We've had a
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
Internet problems.
And the last one I got on there is a base station for GPS. We're getting, we got some new GPS equipment, and it's gonna be used with the utility commission and what they're doing, as far as locating all their valves, line sizes, sewer manholes, we're gonna use it for storm sewers, where they got water leaks, stuff like that. But this base station, what it does is we can have our own here instead of using, it's called the Kentucky Cores system, which basically it's a continuous operating satellite system, is what it is. But if a lot of people are using that, it makes it a little bit slower, a little bit less effective. If we have our own, see, we can name our own, like Maysville, whatever, City of Maysville, whatever. I can have it set up, I can put it on a water tower, I can put it up to Public Works too, somewhere on top of the hill, and nobody else can access that but us. So, now Carlson has one, and they'll let us use it too, but they do they're always doing something with the testing and working with their equipment and stuff, but this is something that's not a necessity, but it would be something that would be nice that we could have for our own, and they would be able to more readily access, you know, the satellite system, is what it is. Basically, we have our own set of satellites with this that nobody else can interfere with. So,
But the Chinese.
well, and these are about 20, and they're being reduced to this
Nothing
through our
crazy.
local company. Yeah, 23,000, I think it's 10,000, that's what he said. So, and I've used it for surveying stuff. I mean, it is nice. If you got your own, I know local people that do it, they set up their own station when they go out and do work, and it's just, I mean, it's very, very quick. That's all I got.
Y'all have any questions for David or Dennis?
You got enough time to do all this work, David, in the next year if we approve on this?
Yeah,
That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
I've got most of my other ones done, except, you know, there's they're getting ready to start the Country Club of Heights drainage work. But yeah, most everything. I got a flood pump that's ordered, but yeah, we stay pretty busy.
And the Riverbank, that project, it's a process with the federal paperwork and all that.
Yeah,
It's moving along, but it's gonna be a while too.
Yeah, we're waiting on that. The Boys Club, the trail, we're waiting on that one. But that'll be started pretty soon. Yeah.
You got anybody else?
No, that is all for today. We'll have utilities tomorrow. And that's all we have for today.
That's at 11 bar.
Our new regular time schedule.
Our new regular time, yeah. That's all I have for you today.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cartmel,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes.
Mayor Cartmel. Or
Yes.
Mayor Cotterill.
All right. Thank you
So
all.
we good, Victor? Mine's all done?